Today we're going to look at graphing linear equations. There are two methods for graphing linear equations, either by finding and plotting 2 points on the line, or finding the gradient and the y-intercept. Remember the form y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. The method you choose for graphing a line will be dependent on the form that the linear equation is provided in. The gradient-intercept form is called the gradient-intercept form because the terms are made up of the gradient and the y-intercept. The gradient-intercept form is useful as we can identify the gradient and the y-intercept without performing any calculations. The general form, sometimes referred to as the standard form, a, b and c are numbers. This form of a line is particularly useful for determining both the x and y intercepts, which are also 2 points on the line. You do this by making x equal 0 or making y equal to 0. So graphing a straight line by plotting the points. First, you identify that the equation is in the general form. So you find the y-intercept and the intercept by letting x equal 0 and then y equals 0 respectively. So when x equals to 0, you sub it into the equation and you find that y equals to 2 and you plot that point. When y equals to 0, you find that x equals to 2 and you plot that point. Now you connect the points and draw your line. Simple as that. Let's look at another example. Again, you identify that the equation is in the general form. So you find the y-intercept and the x-intercept by letting x equal to 0 and y equal to 0 respectively. So when x equals to 0, the equation is 15 equals 3 times 0 plus 5y. When you solve for this, y equals to 3, so you plot your first point. When you let y equal 0, you get 15 equals 3x plus 5 times 0. When you solve this, you get x equals to 5, and you plot the point. Then you connect the points and draw your line. I've given you this example to show you that you don't actually have to make x and y equal to 0. You can choose values for x and find the corresponding y values. In this example, I've made x equal to 1, which equates to y equals to 1, and you plot the point, 1, 1. Then I've made x equal to 2 and found that y was equal to 3, so I've got another point to plot. Now we can connect the points and draw our line. I just showed you this example to show that you don't actually have to make x and y equal to 0. You can choose any numbers you like. Now we identify the equations in the gradient-intercept form. This tells us that we're going to use the slope and the y-intercept to plot the line. So we got the slope, which is 2, and the y-intercept, which is -3. You place a point on the y-intercept, and then you use the slope to plot your next point. So a gradient of 2 is a rise of 2 over a run of 1. So you work out the run first, which is your x value, over the rise, which is your y value, and you plot the point at 1, -1. You join the points and draw your line. Again, we've got the gradient-intercept form, so we identify the slope, identify the y-intercept, place a point at the y-intercept, in this case it's 2. A gradient of -4 is a drop of 4 and a run of 1. Again, we're going to draw the run first because that's our x value. And then we draw a drop of 4, which is the y value. And we identify the point, which is 1, -2. We draw our point, we connect the points and draw our line. This one here, we've got the gradient-intercept form again. The gradient this time is 2 on 3. Don't forget, a slope or gradient of 2 on 3 is rise over run. So the top value is your rise and the bottom value is your run. The y-intercept is 2. So you place a point at 2 on the y-axis. And a gradient of 2 on 3 is a rise of 2 and a run of 3, like I said. So you plot your run and then your rise, and you draw your point and you connect the line. You might find questions where you want to rearrange the formula from the general form, which is ax plus by equals c, into the gradient intercept form. So this example, we've got the general form and we're going to subtract x from both sides. This is simple algebra. Rearrange so that x is the first term. There you have it. That's our gradient intercept form. And now you can identify the gradient is -1 and the y-intercept is 7. Again, let's rearrange the general form to the form y equals mx plus c. Subtract 3x from both sides, rearrange so that x is the first term, and there you have it. The gradient is -3 and the y-intercept is -2. And you can plot that line. Now, just a final example. We're going to find the form y equals mx plus c again from the general form. Add x to both sides. Rearrange so that x is the first term. This term here, we can't leave it as it is. We need to divide by 2. This gives us the equation y equals half x plus 5 on 2. So the gradient is 1/2 and the y-intercept is 2.5. Again, you can plot this. Thank you.